adapt, or become obsolete. Just as companies that fail to adapt to digital transformation were left behind or destroyed, so too will countries and governments that do not evolve to confront this new form of warfare. HASE Fiero. I quoted this because history is repeating itself, not in battles and bombs, but in bits and bandwidth. The very thing that transformed our economies, the digital revolution, has now transformed our threats, and yet many of our governments are still operating with Cold War-era playbooks in an age of algorithmic warfare. Let me explain what I mean. The parallel between business and nations. We all remember what happened to companies like Blockbuster, Kodak, or Borders. These weren't weak companies. They were industry leaders, giants. But they failed to adapt. They ignored the digital wave. They thought it was a fad, a phase. They were wrong, and they were wiped out. Now apply that same lens to the geopolitical world. Today, we are in the middle of what I call an information age war. A war not defined by who has the most missiles, but by who controls the most minds. And countries that do not evolve their thinking, their systems, their leadership, will face the same fate as those companies. Not necessarily with military conquest, but with irrelevance, collapse, or subjugation by more digitally savvy powers. What this means in the current global climate. Let's look at what's happening. Russia, China, and even non-state actors have embraced information warfare as their dominant mode of influence. They hack not just servers, but societies. They disrupt not just networks, but national unity. They are not waiting for tanks to cross borders. They are already inside, on our screens, in our feeds, shaping public opinion, sowing division, and eroding trust. Meanwhile, many Western democracies are still reacting slowly, if at all. The analog mindset still rules the day. Bureaucracies move like glaciers, not like streams. Intelligence is siloed. Misinformation is outsourced to fact-checkers with tiny budgets and limited reach. We are simply not moving fast enough. And the consequences are real. Public trust is at an all-time low. Election interference is normalized. Democracies are paralyzed by polarization. Autocrats are learning that truth is malleable, narratives are weapons, and digital dominance is power. The urgency of governmental digital evolution. Governments must realize that we're no longer dealing with traditional warfare. We are dealing with perception warfare, data warfare, and narrative warfare. Failure to evolve means losing control over the national story, letting hostile states shape your citizens' beliefs, becoming unable to defend your institutions from within. This is not just a security threat, it's a sovereignty threat. The state that controls its digital terrain and educates its people to navigate it wins. The state that ignores it dies slowly and loudly. What must be done? Now. 1. Build cognitive infrastructure. Every nation needs a 21st century information security strategy. This includes rapid response teams for viral disinformation, public digital literacy programs, and real-time narrative analysis. 2. Modernize governance tech. Government IT systems are outdated. The ability to monitor, understand, and respond to digital threats must be embedded at every level of governance, from city halls to defense ministries. 3. Educate citizens as digital defenders. A digitally literate population is a nation's first line of defense. We must train students, seniors, workers, and leaders to detect manipulation, understand algorithms, and question sources. 4. Elevate ethical information practices. We must model truth-telling from the top. Leadership that lies becomes a tool of our adversaries. Integrity is no longer a moral option, it's a security imperative. 5. Collaborate across borders. Information warfare does not respect borders. Democracies must share strategies, technologies, and data to create a global alliance against disinformation and digital coercion. Final reflection. Here's the truth. The 21st century's dominant threat is not nuclear, it's cognitive, and the dominant battleground is not land, it's perception. If we do not evolve, if we continue to run 20th century governments in a 21st century digital war, we will fall behind, fall apart, or worse, fall into the hands of those who already understand the terrain better than we do. So the warning stands: adapt or be erased, educate or be manipulated, evolve or go extinct. Because in this new era, survival isn't about how big your army is, it's about how fast your nation can think. HASE Fiero.